Welcome back to the battlefield. We are continuing today's campaign, and my main goal for today is to get some supplies down to these armies in Parsa. They have been fighting and fighting and fighting, and now they are running out of food. So obviously they will stop fighting soon, regardless of whether or not they have enough men left to win the battles that they are faced with. Alright, so what do I need to do to get food to them? This spy can't help in giving them food, but we can at least get an eye on what our enemy is up to. Let's go ahead and have the spy stay here. Hopefully that'll be close enough to give us intelligence on both of those cities. You, Empire Maintenance. Is what I'm trying to reduce at the moment. You are just working on public order and cultural conversion. I don't know that there's anything else you can really do for public order. Since there's not really anything else that Tigran can do for public order or cultural conversion at the moment, I may as well just get the reduced Empire Maintenance for the time being. Now, I think I have to just keep this army here so that they can support each other in the event of an attack, but I don't expect the enemy to attack me just yet. I'm worried I'm going to lose this unit to attrition. So ideally, I would like to pull these armies out of here and switch them for these two, but these two armies obviously have a little bit more traveling to do before we can get to that point. Now, what's the money situation? Taxes are level and we do have income, so that is a big win. Loyalty is looking pretty good. Does anyone need to get married? No, okay. Was I working on getting any of these fine young women of the nation? Was I trying to get them any extra experience? It doesn't look like it. Alright, that should be about it for this turn. Now, something I haven't done for a while in this campaign is take a look at the diplomatic situation. So I'm still somewhat friendly with Egypt.
Be at ease, good emissary. Speak your part.
Nabatea doesn't like me, which kind of shocks me. Why don't they like me? Looks like mostly past wars.
Please accept as a most...
How are we looking up here? These guys are aggressive, but they're at war with Parthia. Excuse me for a moment.
Honored emissary, speak, and I will answer with my master's voice.
Sorry, I just had to clear my throat. So these guys are aggressive, but they're at war with Parthia. Since I am expecting to be at war with Parthia very soon, I'm hoping that these guys will continue to remain friendly. Out here, I'm not really concerned about anything going on. The RDA are still at war with Athens and Sparta.
Enter, friend, and speak. We shall...
But I don't think that will affect me.
Welcome. I throw open the door.
And because I don't really think that'll affect me at all, I'm thinking I can probably disband this army. Now, a disadvantage of doing that is I think these bonuses will go away, because I don't know if they still apply if this guy is not actively commanding an army. I'm just going to go ahead and keep him here for now. We're in the positive on income. Disbanding him will save me 5, maybe 600 gold per turn, I think. Which definitely would be nice to have. But I think we can hang on to him. As far as the provinces go, public order is a problem. If I remember right, a lot of that is from having so many slaves, so that should deteriorate quite rapidly. Alright, let's end the turn. Now going forward, I need to really be careful about my strategy on the Eastern Front, because I don't really want to be fighting Parthia and the Indian faction at the same time. So ideally, I can focus all of my force, except maybe one army, to just go wipe out the Indians, get them off the map, and then I can work my way north from there. My concern is still that the Parthians are going to decide they hate me enough that they want to declare war, and if they do that, I expect they will probably be really aggressive in attacking me. And right now, I think I would struggle to defend against them. So I'm hoping to just end this war in the south really, really fast. Right, so it's actually really bad that the rebellion happened here, because it just means this city will take even longer to regenerate any of its supplies. It's also bad because I wanted to keep the rebellion alive for as long as I could, so that public order could start to sort itself out. Alright, now let's see. These guys can defend the city of Susa this turn. I'm going to need my siege army again soon, but I think I will need my field armies again first. So, if this army has the movement range available, which they do, I'm going to send this army back for some much needed replenishment, and I will send this army forward. Now the other thing I'm going to do is sally out just to stop them from raiding. I mean, not sally out because they're not besieging me. But this will stop them from raiding. Hopefully. It's not worth going down there to kill this army because it'll leave me exposed to them. I won't have enough movement range to make it back to Parsa.
A man has many faces.
Now, I'm hesitant to spend any money here, just because I'm not 100% certain I can hold this territory. But something needs to be done to try and get some supplies down here. Let's see, up here we're still waiting on this. No, let's see, was it this city that was building? No, it wasn't that city. Who was building my supply building? Or did I forget to do that? No, it was this city. This city's building the supply pit, but it's going to be another 5 turns before it's completed, and another several turns before I can get an army over there to actually do anything about it. I'm going to go ahead and pop this army into the city, because that way, if they happen to get replenishment over the end turn, it will be increased. And we're not losing any more public order, because the rebellion means we're at plus 20. Pretty much indefinitely. This army was on its way over to pick up the supplies. It'll take them several turns to get there. Hopefully they can get there right as the building is completed so they can immediately recruit the necessary unit and then come down here to support. And I think that's all I ought to do this turn. Public order is fine here, partially because I have an additional general here governing the place. So let's not worry too much about the cultural conversion or public order. You know what? I take it back. Go for it. Alright, spent a lot of cash this turn, but that's mostly to get the city of Parsa up and running. Let's end the turn and hope for the best. Those guys are scary. It's encouraging to see that Parthia still hasn't attacked me yet. Now, the other thing is, I'm not sure, when I get this supply, or the baggage train unit, I'm not even sure that it will fix the supply problem, because it might only supply one army. It might only supply the army it's in instead of all the armies around it, so we'll have to see how that works. I've never actually really used the baggage train unit, so I'm not really sure how it works. Generally speaking, I would rather just have a military unit instead of the supply unit, because usually I don't have supply problems.
The enemy will try to either sneak past your defenses or rush them by force of arms.
I was about to say we can just set the archers on the walls, but I'm not so sure that will work now, if they are going to be charging up at me. So what I think I will do instead is slap all of the garrison units up here and just hold the enemy in position. I'm hoping all of their ladders will land in this space. Maybe I should move back a little bit just in case they don't. So hopefully all three of their ladders will land in here. What's going to be the best angle for the artillery? I'm not sure. And then once they're on the walls, I can just pelt them with arrows until they are no more. Let's see. So let's set up like this. That should give my guys plenty of range. Leave the artillery in this big old courtyard just in case any of their archer units decide to stay off of the wall. The way they're set up right now, it's looking like the enemy is planning on fully charging. Go ahead and keep the spears close by. And I would sally out the cav just to catch some of these missiles. But the cavalry is some of my expensive units and I don't want to lose them. And they're more difficult to replenish, so we're just going to keep them out of the fight entirely this time around. Get another unit of mob here. And a third unit of mob here, just so we have some meat shields up on the walls. Now the healthier spear units can be down on the streets. They may fire at will with their javelins as well. Just so we can maximize the damage we're doing as soon as the enemy gets on the wall. You know what, let's actually have them not fire at will. My concern is that they're all gonna waste their javelins as soon as the enemy is on the wall, like has 2 or 3 guys on the wall. I might have to manually have them wait until more enemies get up there. As for the rest of what's happening, it's not terribly important, so we'll just keep some other units nearby. Alright, now artillery. Be prepared. Looks like I have an excellent angle of fire to start. Obviously, I want to focus on their melee units as much as possible, because the archers aren't really much of a threat. Let's see how this first volley does. Not too bad. Could be better. Another advantage of leaving my guys off the wall is if there's any shots that randomly are super short, I'm much less likely to hit my own troops. It's fine to let the plebeians take some arrow fire here. Go ahead and just have the artillery hit this unit of archers now. They should rout quick enough. Alright, and now we get to see how well the plan works. It's totally fine to let the mob take the fire. I do want my cavalry, my reinforcing cavalry, to get over here, just because I want to run these units down eventually. We'll have these guys stop now, because I don't actually want this unit to rout just yet.
Our spears are yours.
Alright, now you guys may throw your javelins when you are ready. I should still probably actually wait for a little bit until more of these troops get on the wall. Archers may fire at will. Hopefully they will send this unit of archers up on the wall. Most of these javelins aren't going to do anything, but if I can get a few to do some damage, then yippee. What are the archers targeting? these guys that are coming up on the walls. So what I want to have happen is I want to be able to run all of these units down. I don't want any of them to escape, because then they will just start raiding again. And that's just a nuisance I don't want to deal with.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
The plebeians look like they're actually going to win that fight. I mean, they're not plebs because I'm Armenian, but whatever, you get the idea. Let the archers keep shooting their general. Whoever has an angle on him, go for it. Go ahead and get some of these archers up on the walls. Not that many of them, though. That's too many.
The enemy general is dead.
I don't need to run down the general's unit, because if the general is dead, then the whole unit dies. Unfortunately, I'm not given the chance to run them down, so hopefully they don't get to escape. But I'm sure that, oh, they were all mercenaries, so maybe they won't get to escape. Maybe they'll get disbanded because they were just mercenary forces. The artillery actually got way more kills than I thought it would in that short of an engagement. Alright, let's go ahead and take the money, even though my friends won't like that much. Alright, Parsa is gone. The garrison took attrition, but none of my other armies did. What? That makes it look like none of these armies took attrition, which, if that's the case, that's awesome. Yeah, it actually looks like this army recovered over the end turn, so that is good news. They will be taking attrition now, though. Alright, the Indian forces are actually out of range. They don't have the range to attack me this turn, so I could fall back for a turn. Choices, choices. Let's go ahead and bring this army back down around this direction. Keep these guys stationed in Susa just for the replenishment. I feel like I have to leave these two here. I don't actually have to leave them here, though. Alright, how's the city doing for supply generation? Still losing 47 supplies per turn. If I were to stop this little army from raiding, I don't think it would make that much difference. And I kind of like gaining the extra public order. Just looking at what recruitment options I had so I could replace my mercenaries if I wanted to, but there's not really anything good here. This army is still just going to hang out. This city is actually losing supplies. But these guys are maintaining public order, so I'll leave them here over the end turn again. Once these buildings get completed, then I can pull this army back for a little bit. These guys just need to keep quick timing it over here. Alright, I don't think there's anything else that needs to happen this turn. I could go squash the rebellion now, but I am definitely going to wait. I think that is the right course of action to take. Let's actually go ahead and have these guys patrol just for the extra cash. I should be doing that over each end turn. I could actually pull these guys out of the city and have them patrol as well, but I would rather they just get the replenishment, because what I'm thinking right now is to use these two armies to go attack Gore. I think that's a battle they should manage fairly well, because it's basically 1.5 armies here, almost 2. And I've got 2 full armies here that are actually decent units, so that should be manageable. Alright, anything diplomatic or politically that needs to happen? Probably not. So let's end the turn and go to the next one. I could maybe have patrolled with this army as well, but I didn't really think it was that important. Plus, they're in more of a dangerous situation, so I don't want them to be in any sort of risk that I can avoid. Alright, so I majorly overextended myself early in the campaign. We're starting to finally reel things back under control. In the base game, it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal to overextend, because your armies are just so much better than the enemy armies, and the enemy doesn't recruit as many armies. From what I remember, I don't know because I haven't played base like vanilla Rome 2 for a very long time. But what I remember is once I took out the first like 2 or 3 armies of a faction, they basically never recovered. They never had another army to fight me. In this game, as you can see, even though this faction only has, well, they've got 5 settlements, but they've got 2 full stack armies, a full stack navy, and they're working on a 3rd full stack. So it's like, if you want to win effectively, you have to have ridiculously high tier troops, or you have to be ridiculously good at the game, and I am neither of those things. So let's just see what happens here. Now I'm just inside their movement range here, but that means if they attack me, I can always retreat. The odds of them attacking me, I think, are pretty much 0. Now, since I'm leaving this settlement undefended, I think it's time that I have to deal with the rebellion. These armies are back in range of attacking Parsa, so I do still have to keep 2 armies here. Let's see. We'll keep the army on the inside as healthy as possible. We'll send these guys off to deal with the rebellion. Now, what have they got? A ton of archers and a bunch of spears. Alright. Obviously, it's not going to be a difficult fight, but as always, I need to avoid casualties. And if I'm going to take casualties, the units I want to do it are these mercenary cav. Alright, so we'll keep the swords somewhat in reserve. They will do really, really well against these light spear units. But I don't want them fighting that heavy shock cav. And I don't want them getting shot. Mercenaries can make up the front line. I'll keep the spears to the flanks in case their general decides to do anything annoying. I'll actually keep the heavier cav on this side and the lighter cav on this side. So primarily I think I want my swords to be the ones doing the damage to these spears instead of these mercenary guys. The mercenaries are just up front to kind of tank some damage from the archers. So I'm actually going to reverse the positions here. My archers are heavily, heavily outnumbered. So I don't actually want to be caught in a skirmish engagement. But since that's how the engagement is going to start, I want to start it off as efficiently as possible. I keep hitting the wrong buttons. I was just smashing my space bar to try and change the battle speed. I don't know if you guys could hear that. Actually, real quick, I'm going to check these guys' range, because if I outrange them, 175 versus 182. Alright, so I don't really outrange them. I was going to say if I outrange them, maybe I can kind of force a missile engagement that's in my favor. Alright, let's run up to here. I bet as soon as we get in range, they are going to charge. Start to move the swords out to the sides. Don't want the general to be taking any fire, but what can you do? Archers obviously only target enemy archers. It's actually not charged forward too fast because I want to get use out of my javelins. Okay, the cavalry's not going to be able to... I didn't get to zone out any of their archers in the middle. Come on, keep away from those spears. Need to run down as many of these as I can. I actually might have overestimated my own strength down here. Let the general keep running them down. Let's actually change our target prioritization here.
The battle is turning in our favor.
Need to try and keep the general out of that engagement. At least until I can get the surround. There we go. Now, nobody fire at will. And let's finish the work.
The enemy general is dead.
Light cav, you get down here. You guys get over here. Let the general chase that unit down so we can get the experience. Alright. I think that went pretty smooth. I didn't mess it up somehow. I've done that before on easy battles like this. And cost my nation many good men. No, but this time, everyone's sacrifice was worth it because everyone fought effectively. Alright, hopefully that was enough to wipe out their army. It looks like they didn't really have anything left. Yeah, they had, what is that, 27 men remaining at the end of the battle. Spread across all of their units, that should hopefully mean the entire army is wiped out. Look at these swords, man. 360 kills on them. Good, dealt with the entire rebellion. Now we have to deal with the public order problems down here, but that can be managed. Alright, let's make sure you are nice and close, put you in the fortified stance in case the enemy decides to do any funky business with laying siege and then attacking the army. I don't think they have the movement range to do that, but it's better to be prepared, I think. Alright, so we have a city governor out here doing the Lord's work. Go ahead and give him a boost to his swordsman. And everything else should be just about taken care of. What I think I will do is go ahead and let this roll over the end turn and then end the episode at the beginning of the next turn. But let me make sure there's nothing else I need to do. Go ahead and get the public order going. I think we're okay for food out here. Public order could still use some help. I wish there was an option to, like, not take slaves. I feel like even when I execute the captives, I still end up with a ton of slaves. But the slaves are helping the economy, so maybe they're necessary. Anyway, let's roll over to the next turn. After we get these couple of skills taken care of. Alright. So I didn't quite meet my goal for this episode. That is one of the disadvantages of doing shorter episodes and also fighting every battle. It just means this campaign is going to take a long time to record because I am not just skipping through battles. But either way, it will hopefully mean, I mean, if you guys are still enjoying it, it'll mean we can, you know, kind of keep up with this campaign and actually see it unfold in a semi-realistic manner instead of me just steamrolling through all of the enemies. Although in the future I would like to do that. But, you know, either way. This campaign has been fun for me. What I'm really looking forward to is I don't know what year it happens in game, but the reform system hopefully finally giving me access to my good melee infantry. And that will mean I can get some more elite heavy troops to take on things like siege battles. It'll make the siege battles a little more interesting, I think. But as always, I hope you guys are enjoying. I will look forward to seeing you in the next one.